Your business deploys AI pilots everywhere. But are they going anywhere? Or are they stuck in silos, exhausting resources, unable to scale? Maybe you don't need hundreds of AI pilots, you need a holistic strategy. IBM has 65,000 consultants with Gen AI expertise who can help you design, integrate, and optimize AI solutions. So you're not just deploying AI, you're scaling it across your business. Learn more at ibm.com/consulting. IBM. Let's create.
Psst. Hey, besties, listen up. I have a secret to tell you. LinkedIn now has improved the job search experience for nurses. Search by your specialty, the shifts you want to work, and the salary that you want to make. With so many employers hiring on LinkedIn, finding the perfect job is even more simplified. So don't spend months searching. Go to linkedin.com/nurses and find out why in the past year, more than 1.5 million nurses have used LinkedIn to search for their next role. That's linkedin.com/nurses.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. What's up, you guys? We're back to the pod. Thank you so much for clicking on today's episode. If you're new here, what's up? My name is Lily, and tomorrow, Friday, April 15th, is my birthday, which is really exciting. So you guys are listening to this on Thursday the 14th or anytime after that. And this episode is going to be 22 things that I learned before I turned 22, which is pretty exciting. And yes, before you even ask, I'm feeling 22, but honestly, I've never felt less qualified in my entire life to give advice. Like, you know, the Taylor Swift song that's like, well, obviously we all know 22 by Taylor Swift, but her one from the new Red album called Nothing New, where she goes, how can a person know everything at 18 and nothing at 22? I don't think that I've ever felt something more relatable in my entire life. And I was on a walk yesterday. I've been doing this thing. It's not really anything crazy or innovative, but I've been going on a lot of walks in the evening and it's been really nice. But I was listening to that on my walk the other day and I just started bawling my eyes out, which is so stupid. But I was just like, wow, that is incredibly relatable. I've been on social media since I was 18 and I've been giving you guys, my audience, advice since I was 18 on whatever topic I've been talking about over the years. And while I was on this walk, I knew that I was going to record this episode, and I've been spending the past month or so writing out 22 things that I've learned before I turned 22, and just little tips and tricks and pieces of advice. And it was kind of one of those moments where you realize that the more you know, the less you know. And I got to the bridge of the song where she says, someday I'm gonna meet her in a fever dream, the kind of radiance that you only have at 17. And I thought about little 17, 18-year-old me just bebopping around, and she had no freaking clue that when she turned 22, her life would be like this. And so I just had this very surreal moment. It felt like a movie, and I just was crying on the docks in my backyard, which is crazy that I even live by the water. And I know you guys are tired of hearing about this, but just the way that everything's happened in life in the past 2-3 months is wild. And then when Taylor was like, she'll know the way, and say that she got the map for me, I was just fucking crying at this point. This is so dramatic. Way to kick off the episode, just exposing my drama. I was bawling my eyes out, and I was thinking about younger me. I was thinking about people who listen to the show who are younger than me. I was just thinking about all the DMs that I've gotten from you guys saying that I'm like a big sister to you, and all just this crazy shit was like flashing before my eyes. It was just a very weird moment, but cool moment in my life. And not to make this entire episode about Taylor Swift, but I have been waiting to turn 22 since I was 12 when that album came out. And when I was 12, I had always hoped that when I turned 22, Instagram would still be relevant because I wanted to use that as my Instagram caption. And sure as shit it is. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, 22 is gonna be a really good year. I can feel it. And I'm so glad that you guys are here to ride this crazy wave of life with me. So thank you so much. Also, thanks for 10K on Instagram. That's wild. And I really love you guys so much, and I appreciate you so much more than you'll ever know. We got to 10K last week, which is wild. So that was like the coolest early birthday present that I could have ever gotten. So thank you. Also, I really just dove right into this episode. Sorry for going MIA last week. I had bronchitis and I couldn't talk or hold a conversation without coughing really aggressively. So there was no new episode last week, but I appreciate your guys' patience. I posted a little something on the podcast Instagram. So if you ever need an update or you're like, where's Lily? It's probably on there. Because I was super sick last week, I don't really have anything exciting to share as far as life updates go, but I do have a current favorite and I do have a quote. So let's go ahead and jump into our segments where I share my current favorite and my favorite quote, and then whatever else I decide is going to be a segment this week. Current favorite is actually a book, and it's called Find Your People by Janine Allen. This is a book that I got from an Instagram gal that I follow. Her name is Mackenzie Marsh. She's super cute, super positive. She posts like a lot of fun, sunny Florida content. So I've been following along with her stuff recently and I really like it. Her username is Jesus People Places. I saw this book on one of her stories, or maybe it was like a TikTok or something. And I was like, you know what? I just moved to a new place and I'm looking for a good community here. So I'm going to pick this book up. And I absolutely love it. I finished it in a week, which is wild because I have not finished a book that quickly in a very long time. But essentially the premise of the book is all about finding a group of people that lift you up, and it's pretty spiritual, which I've honestly been enjoying. The author makes a ton of amazing points, but something that really stuck out to me is that she talked about how we've really relied too much on being independent and we don't really trust people anymore. We don't live in communities like we used to, and we don't rely on people, and we don't need other people. And honestly, nothing has spoken to me more than that in my entire life. I've always said how independent I am, and I never really let people do favors for me, and I never really let people like take care of me, essentially. And there's a huge difference between being needy and sucking other people's energy and relying on people because they are someone who's going to help make you a better person, and needing them in that way, if that kind of makes sense. Anyway, this book really just opened my eyes and I really couldn't put it down. So if you guys need a good book rec, it's called Find Your People, Janine Allen. I will leave it linked in the show notes. Even though I'm probably going to hit you guys with a lot of quotes and a lot of inspiring words through my list of 22 things that I learned before I turned 22, I do have a quote for you today, and it says, at some point, you gotta be real with yourself about the gap between the life you want to live and the life your daily habits are leading you towards. And that really spoke to me because there are always bad habits that all of us do. And those bad habits are probably contributing to the gap between where we are now and where we want to be. And I'm always talking about little things that you can do to be a better person and tips and tricks and advice and stuff. But until you actually take action to close the gap, nothing changes. So anyway, I thought that quote was super inspiring. It's always kind of a wake-up call when you read something like that. I promise that I will have some fun updates for you guys next week because I'll have a whole birthday recap. I've got some fun stuff going on this weekend, so I'll give you guys a whole recap. But let's just go ahead and jump into the content of today's episode because I know that it's going to be a big one. We're doing 22 things that I learned before I turned 22. So these are things that maybe I learned this year or just in life in general. They're in no particular order, and I haven't really vetted them. Like, I've just kind of written things down as they come to mind. So I'm just gonna kind of go down the list. I might explain a couple. I might leave them open-ended. You take what you want, leave what you don't, as always in these types of episodes, or honestly any podcast that you listen to. This is just advice from my personal life, my personal experiences, and almost 22 years of life experience. Lesson number 1 is the best moments in life aren't the ones that were planned. If you guys have been following along with my story at all, if you know what's happened to me in the past couple months, none of this was planned, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Lesson number 2, never take it seriously and you'll never be disappointed. That's not to say that you should take everything as a joke, but life really isn't that serious. And when you realize that it's way more fun to just be silly, be goofy, obviously act professional in like your workplace and stuff, but laugh with your coworkers and dance with a random stranger at a bar or in your car at a red light and just have some freaking fun, and don't walk around with a stick up your ass because life is supposed to be fun. Lesson number 3. Comparison is junk food for the soul. If you're anything like me, you spend a lot of time online, and comparison is completely natural. And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of healthy competition, but constantly being suffocated by what other people are doing is naturally going to cause you to compare your life to others and make you think that your life is not as good as other people's. And that is freaking junk food for your soul. Lesson number 4. Good jeans are really hard to find, so if you try on a pair in the store and they fit and they feel good, just buy them. Don't even look at the price tag. Just freaking buy the jeans, because a good pair of denim that fits in all the right places is really, really, really hard to come by. Lesson number 5, starting over is totally okay. Lesson number 6, normalize thinking highly of yourself. I had to do this about 30 minutes ago. I had taken a shower and I took my makeup off, and I don't think that my skin likes the makeup that I'm using, and I think it's a little bit too heavy for my skin. And you guys know I've struggled with my skin in the past, and I've worked so hard on it, and I feel like all my hard work is just going by the wayside, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm kind of just at my wit's end. And so I was standing in the mirror, and I had to remind myself that I need to normalize thinking good thoughts, thinking highly of myself. Lesson number 7, have something, whether it's an activity or a hobby or even like a song that you play in the car, just have something that is for yourself and nothing else. This thing is just for you. It makes you happy. It's not for the betterment of your career. It doesn't involve anybody else. It's not for anybody else. It's just for you. Number 8, friendships don't happen out of thin air. Friendships are made. And when I say made, I don't mean, oh, like go out and make friends. I mean, truly, it takes freaking work to make good, solid friends. It doesn't just happen magically. Number 9, you gotta feel it to heal it. That sounds like something from Frozen, like something that Elsa would say. But guys, if you don't sit there and process the things that are going on in your mind and in your heart, there's no possible way that you can heal from them. I know in your 20s, it's really, really easy to distract yourself. And there are a lot of different ways that you could potentially distract yourself. But until you sit down with your feelings, this is so corny, but like until you sit down with your feelings, you're not going to get any better. Number 10 is learn how to do your own nails. This is something that I started doing a couple months ago, and honestly, it has saved me so much money, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed at myself that I didn't do this earlier. So, buy a gel light on Amazon. They're super cheap, like $30, which is probably less than the cost of a manicure. Find some gel polish that you like. I use the brand Emma. I'll have all this stuff linked in the show notes. And just learn how to do it all yourself, because I think I spent, in my lifetime, I probably spent thousands of dollars on my nails. Probably thousands of dollars. When I could have saved all that money and just done them myself. Number 11 is don't let people pick your brain. The phrase picking your brain, first off, it sends chills up my spine because I just don't like the way that sounds. When someone asks to pick your brain, that is essentially code for, I don't think that you're valuable enough to pay you for your time and expertise. That's what picking your brain means. I'm all for networking. And if someone within my network were to ever call me and say, hey, Lily, I would love to know about X, Y, and Z, I have no problem with that. There's something incredibly great about having mentorship within your network. But when I have created, I feel like I'm totally going to go on a tangent, so sorry about this, but I have created years and years and years and years worth of content, downloadables, freebies, blog posts, YouTube videos, podcasts, Instagram content, you name it. I think I've spoken on almost every single topic that someone has ever been in my DMs about. I'm also a health coach, so you can pay me for my time and expertise if that's something that you want to do. But when people go into my DMs and say, hey, could I pick your brain about starting a podcast? Nothing grinds my gears more than that. And I've also been taken advantage of too. Like, people have asked to pick my brain before, and I've said yes because maybe they're an old friend or I'm trying to be nice. And every single time I feel so used. So never let people pick your brain. Number 12, consistency sets you apart because most people aren't consistent. If you guys have been following along with the show, you know that I'm doing a challenge with my sister called 70 in 80, and we are doing 70 workouts in 80 days. And I've been obsessed with this challenge. I love how it's given me a solid routine and it's empowered me to be consistent in my habits. I don't think that I've ever been more consistent in a workout routine than I am with this challenge. And consistency is hard. And I'm not saying I'm, the queen of consistency and like the best thing since sliced bread because I've been able to get on a workout routine, but consistency is what separates winners from wannabes. And I wholeheartedly believe that consistency is key. Number 13, you are not responsible for everyone. 14, most stress is self-controlled. Number 15, you aren't supposed to be good at everything. I think failure is one of the coolest things in life because it sets you a little bit closer to where you're supposed to be. And if we were good at everything, that really wouldn't be much fun. Number 16, don't knock it till you try it. 17, sing in the car. This is something that I started doing again when I moved to Annapolis, and I am a happier person because I crank up the music so freaking loud in my car. It's probably dangerous, to be honest, but anyway, I blast music. I'm listening to a ton of country, which is what I grew up listening to. And I just drive around like I am having the best day ever every single day. And there's no reason not to. And I love getting to a stoplight and when the person looks over and I'm just full-fledged dancing and singing and having a blast and they're just staring at me, or maybe sometimes they dance back or it puts a smile on their face. If Lexi was here, we'd have some funny stories to tell. But I know that I am definitely the person that someone goes home and tells their roommate or like their husband or their friend, like, hey, I saw this person today doing X, Y, and Z and it cracked me up. Like, I know for a fact that I'm that person for some people and I'm not mad about it. I am not mad about it in the slightest. Number 18 is say yes. When you start saying yes to things, life gets so much better. I'm not saying yes like overfill your plate and stress yourself out. Number 19 is cooking is an act of love. Time spent in the kitchen is always better with people that you love. Number 20, learn how to enjoy doing nothing. Ever since I moved into my apartment, there is nothing better than a lazy Saturday or a lazy Sunday. It just recharges me, fuels me, fires me up for the week ahead. Number 21 is stop using so much heat on your hair. I wash my hair probably like twice a week. And one of those times I try not to use heat on my hair, and I didn't realize how curly my hair wanted to be. And I've gotten my curls back and they're so cute and I love them. It's kind of more of like a beachy wave. Drum roll. Number 22 is find things that make you feel like the best version of you and simply do more of those things. So that was 22 things that I learned before I turned 22. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to subscribe for more. I post a new episode every single Thursday. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate it. Our show is growing, which is really cool. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to post it on your Instagram stories or share it with a friend or leave a rate, leave a review. And that all just helps more people find and listen to the show, which then just helps me to keep creating the show for you guys. If you guys want to connect with me or put a face to the name, you can follow me on Instagram. My username is Lily Rakow, LILYRAKOW, or you can follow the podcast Instagram at 8020, that's 8020POD, and both of those will be linked in the show notes. I love you guys lots. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon.